Hey folks, welcome back to Canada's Boxing Channel. Hope everyone's doing well and that the beginning of the work week has been reasonable for you all. So, news. I guess the surprising news over the weekend was Jose Resendiz beating Caleb Plant. A little bit surprising. I think that was the upset of the weekend. Resendiz now 16-2 and Plant moves to 23-3. I thought that the split decision win was the right decision. There was a judge, Sutherland, who, he saw the fight a little differently. And I can't say as I agree with him. I mean, two judges were 116, 112, and he was 113, 115 the other way. It's like me and the lads were talking about on our, I think it was the second episode of our show yesterday, which hopefully you've all had a chance to look at. Part 2 is on Andy's Cavern as well, another YouTube site that I really hope that you subscribe to. And we were talking about potentially, AI judging and where that could go. I know people are concerned about it, and I hear the concerns. I'm a bit of a technophobe at the best of times. So when I think about AI judging, I'm like, the possibility of it being manipulated or hacked or something kind of, troubles me. And I'm also, I've got questions. The problem is I don't know enough about technology and AI to really know what questions to ask, but my gut worries about it. Having said that, when you see odd judging decisions happening, then you wonder, would AI be better? It's hard to say, right? Anyhow, let's get back to the fight. Plant, in my view, sort of, he let things slip. He fell behind too much, too early. Resendiz took over sort of, would you say, 6th round, maybe? Middle of the fight. But by then, I think that Plant he seemed to lack desire. I think this is a case that, Plant could have won, but he didn't. The right decision. Like I say, the one judge must have been seeing a different fight. In other news, I think it was the Stomping Ground interviewed Frank Warren, who had a number of interesting things to say. The most interesting to me was Moses Itauma is not going to fight Martin Bakole. Frank Warren was quite clear about that. That's not happening. He said that he has a text from Billy Nelson to the effect that Martin Bakole won't be ready until the end of the year. And he also said, how did he put it? He said, Bakole's got a big fight coming up. He's previously said he has no idea what this big fight is because Frank Warren, actually has all the main heavyweights under contract to him. But anyhow, he sort of said, Billy Nelson said he's got this big fight coming up and hopefully he can get through that and whatever. In other words, like he doesn't really believe that there's a very big fight coming up involving Bakole because he's got all the big fighters. He was asked about Fabio Wardley. It's fight week, of course. Fabio Wardley and Justice Huni. He reiterated, as you would expect, that he has full confidence in Fabio. My fingers are crossed. I'm also very hopeful that Fabio will prevail, though I hear people from Australia and New Zealand. I hear you. And I've been looking at Huni, And as a Fabio supporter, I'm getting concerned, I have to say. I'm liking what I'm seeing about Huni, and good luck to him. You know, may the best man win, right? The interviewer, I didn't catch who the interviewer was. The interviewer asked Frank Warren, that if Daniel Dubois should beat Usyk, would that make Daniel Dubois the best British heavyweight ever? And then he said, and it would be between him and Lennox, right? Where Frank was weaseling, because Frank doesn't want to say anything that's going to upset Tyson Fury, right? So that was kind of interesting. And Frank was saying, he'd be the first Brit to pick up the 4 belts. You know, he would have beaten Usyk, and he said some nice things about Usyk. But, you know, Tyson, I still think Tyson beat him once. And, you know, Tyson, like, you could see that he just didn't want to make any statement that Tyson Fury sitting at home could look at and say, what? You say that Dubois is better than me? You know, that kind of deal, right? You know, we know how tissue thin the Furies can be, you know, very sensitive fellows, right? Outside the ring, I mean, in terms of them being criticized. So he managed to skate away from that. He did say that if Tyson returns, he would like Tyson to return sort of sooner rather than later, you know, not to be returning when he's been out for a while. Excuse me. He also commented that he, like many of us, have no clue how Manny Pacquiao has gotten a title shot on his immediate return. Clearly, of course, had he been the promoter, he would have explained it. But he definitely, because he's not involved with Pacquiao or Barrios, he's like, I have no clue how it happened, kind of thing. And that was about it. By the way, of news from Darth Warren. He did say something that was funny. He was asked about would his upcoming show on the weekend, the Fabio Wardley Huni show, would that conflict with a show that Boxer has? And he, again, poo-pooed it, you know, as though Boxer was so far, you know, beneath him that he couldn't, you know, didn't even know who was fighting. And he might well be right. Who knows? So there we go. That's all I've got for the moment. Please like, please share, please subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. Have a fabulous day wherever you are. Thanks for watching.